feels so wonderful to be having a new video on Friday because last week it was really weird, but that break was very productive. Hello friends, happy Friday. So very excited that you're here. You might have been seen on social media if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I don't know why I didn't think about putting it on the YouTube community post. I do apologize, friends, because I'm like, I should have done that, but it didn't dawn on me at the time. But I have been asking people, what are some statistics you would love to see involving my manga collection? Because I was working on filming it, and today I am doing that. I hope it's going to be a lot of fun. I really enjoyed working on these stats, though it did take some work, and I'm actually grateful for that break because I was able to dedicate the time to looking and getting all of these stats ready because I had quite a few and I'm really excited. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I will share graphics here so that you can see everything as I'm reading it off my computer. So I thought it'd be a great way to start off. How has my manga collecting journey looked in the past few years? Granted, I can only say 3 because I've only tracked 3 years. The first year that I have where I actually documented, and it was actually my first manga collection video, was in 2021. And at that time, I had 370 volumes of manga. I didn't watch that video to see what manga I had, and I know in the past that I have like shared online what my manga collection journey or like manga collection looked like, but I didn't write down the numbers or anything, and then I didn't film anything in 2022. But in February of 2023, I came back, I did another manga collection video if you like to check it out, and I mentioned in that video that I had 430 volumes of manga. Now, as you can see, it's gradually gone up over the years, and there was quite the spike of going up into 2024. At this current point in time, I have 691 volumes. I am doing the same as I did last year. I am not counting my husband's collection, and I'm also not including the box sets that I have at the very top of my shelves. That was sort of the first manga that me and my husband both bought together. So that is sort of my manga tracking journey, and I'm hoping that next year I will do the same of writing down how much manga I got in 2025. I don't really anticipate that this chart is going to go down at any point. I'm pretty sure it's just going to keep going up. Now, saying that I have a total of 690 volumes currently, I did have quite a few people ask, can you say what like the percentages of manga you've read on your shelf and the manga unread? I was overjoyed by this statistic. Look at this chart. 86% of my manga collection is read. Only 14%, only 98 volumes are unread in my entire collection. I am overjoyed by that number. I have mentioned repeatedly, I think a few times in different videos, that my goal for 2024 was to read all of my manga collection. Do I feel that a manga collector or manga reader needs to read all of their manga? No, I definitely don't feel every person needs to. I personally set this goal for myself because I wanted to show my husband that I'm reading the manga that he is letting me buy, and I'm hoping that in the later part of the year when there's a lot of great things coming out, that he will let me increase my manga budget to get all these things, because then I would have already read almost all of my collection. That is my number one goal. That's the only reason I have this goal, because I've never said it before, but I was really blown away to know I have a TBR that is under 100 volumes. That is absolutely surreal to me. Technically, I have 97 volumes of manga because one of those unread volumes is a light novel that just came in the mail this past week, and I don't foresee me being able to read that before this video goes live, or at least, I don't know, to be determined. But that is where I am right now as of filming this video, and again, I'm just completely mind blown of seeing these numbers. I'm so happy, and I don't think my husband realized, because I told him what the number was, you know, just the unread. I didn't tell him how much manga I have. I didn't tell him that number. He didn't seem nearly as impressed, and I'm like, that's okay, but I'm like, look, I'm just telling you this so you can know that I am reading what I have on my backlog, and I'm reading what I am buying. And if you are curious of like what manga is left on my TBR that I have not read, I did do a video, I think it was 2-3 weeks ago, talking about where I am with my manga goals. I'm also very happy where I am, and just talking about the manga that I have not read yet, as well too as the manga I did read. Another question I got talking about statistics is, could I show the series on my shelf? And so I broke this pie chart into 3 different things. I broke it up to the completed series, which interestingly enough, I have 48 series, mixed that in with one-shots that are completed. The other half of the manga on my shelf is ongoing series with 45 series. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I did also include where the series is complete, but I personally am missing volumes, and that is for 5 different series. One of them is Strobetch. One day, hopefully, Lord willing, Viz will be like, yeah, we're gonna reprint volume 6, please do. I mean, just reprint the whole thing. Anyway, the next one is Dank and Daisy. I only have volume 1. I don't have any plans to collect this series. I just happened to find Dank and Daisy volume 1 in the wild, and it was for a really cheap price, and I said, hey, I love QQ Sweeper and Queen's Quality, as well as Beastmaster, and I was like, I'm gonna take it home. I also have volume 1 of The Earl and the Fairy. This series is currently out of print, I believe. I do have volumes 2 through 4 on back order with Right Stuff, should they ever reprint it. Also from Far Away, I am missing the later 5 volumes, I believe it is. I know it's the last few volumes of the series. And the Fiancé of the Wizard, I only have volumes 1 and 4. Volume 1 was gifted by my friend Sarah. I bought volume 4 because my library doesn't have it. I told myself to be determined if I'll buy volume 2 and 3 because I want to read volume 1. So just 5 series that I personally don't have completed on my shelf, but are completed as a whole. I don't know what the statistic speaks to me personally, except for maybe I have a lot of completed series. I don't know, I guess I thought it interesting. I should have compared it to what of this percentage have I read. I feel like that would put more in where I could see it in my head and the numbers would make more sense to me. But I thought that was really interesting. I appreciate everybody who asked because I was like, oh, I don't have, well, I take back what I said. One thing that did speak to me is I don't have a lot of uncompleted manga series. If I'm going to get something, I'm going to get the whole thing. But with Strobetch, Dank and Daisy, and the Earl, and From Far Away, and Fiancé of the Wizard, I didn't put those as a high priority, especially From Far Away, because I probably have paid like $50 for a single volume, and I said never again. And so I just don't follow used volumes anymore like I used to, or like out of print series. I told myself no, because it's just too tempting to me. And I'm like, I'm not willing to sacrifice my manga budget now like I did last year, just so that I could, keep buying all of the things. And speaking of, I did have, I think it was 2 different people asked me, could I do statistics on like how much money I've spent or how much money like my entire collection is worth? Well, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the latter of like documenting the entire value of my manga collection, because that feels a little bit overwhelming to me, and I have not tracked my spending before last year. So all of 2023, I did track it, and this year I've been doing the same thing. I'm gonna be brave, and I'm gonna try and be cool, like Hamika, who did a video, I think it was just earlier this week, last week, of her sharing all of the manga she has spent, or all of the money she has spent on manga in 2023. I think when in January 2025, I will also do the same, but for 2024, I know I have gotten a lot of requests to share like a video of me sharing the pages in my reading journal, and I actually track my spending in my reading journal. I guess stay tuned for that. I'm not gonna do that till 2025 because I want to do the entire year, and I'm really hoping that the personal goals I set for myself are indeed being met. I don't know. Going on to the next statistic, I of course did the demographics. I was very intrigued to see how much my, I guess, demos have changed on my shelf. And as you can see, there's a huge honkin' pink ring. And we all know that's shoujo. It's 73.1% of my collection. I am not surprised. I have really focused on getting more shoujo this year, especially because I'm realizing when it comes to shoujo manga, I just find that I tend to reread it more often. And that is a new rule that I put on myself, that I need to pick up things that I feel like I will reread again. And unfortunately, Shonen isn't one that I reread often unless it's Haikyuu, because I absolutely love it. Or if it's Twisted Wonderland. Those seem to be the 2 Shonen series I'm collecting actively that I will reread again. Seinen, it just depends. But yes, shoujo, that is the one that the demographic I've really been focusing on. And then if we go by my list on the right hand side here, Shonen is the next biggest demographic that I own. But like last year where I said the Shonen demographic is being carried by Haikyuu basically alone. Haikyuu is 45 volumes, so the other half is, just random things I'm collecting. Kaiju number 8 has been the biggest focus when it comes to shonen manga this year. Bless was another manga that I picked up, and those are the only 3 shonen-based series that I know that I have been actively collecting. I mean, Haikyuu's already completed, but just those 2. I feel like when I think of the shonen manga on my shelf, it's those. It's those. And then the next one was manhwa. I am not surprised by the jump jump in this that manhwa has 32 volumes, and we're going to talk about the comparison of 2023 and 2024 of what the demos look like on my shelf, so stay tuned for that in just a moment. But yeah, I have been on that manhwa hype train super hard. I can't get enough of it. I deeply love it. I'm like, the more manhwa we're getting, the more I am feeling fed. I was sad. Shoujosei manga, 25 volumes. I was very sad by this number. I will talk more about that in just a moment. Seinen, 22 volumes. I'm surprised this number is not higher because I do feel like I'm more, if I'm not going for shoujo, then I will probably go for seinen or manhwa. But just for the manga demos themselves, seinen tends to be the second thing that I go for. Maybe that's not necessarily true based off of these numbers. For other, I mentioned Japanese volumes that I have, like Glasses with a Chance of Delinquent right here, as well as any other Japanese volumes that I have. I also included anything that didn't have a demographic, which included like Howl's Moving Castle, the manga, and I think the only one that didn't have a clear demographic, because I use Baka updates to track everything with the demographics. I do have 9 art books. I didn't include that last year, decided to do that this year. That also includes like mini ones, like I have a mini You of the Dawn one, which I did do a video of, as well as I do also have a Snow with the Red Hair mini one, and any of my Haikyuu art books, as well as my Iosaki Saka art book that my friend Danielle gifted me. And I also include light novels because I have 5 and I'm actually reading them, though I've only read one of them. I have volume 2 of one series that I'm planning to read next, but I have not read the One Piece Aces story. I have not read those 2 light novels, and then I have a Alice in the Country of Hearts, I think it's Alice in the Country of Diamonds. I have not read that light novel, but I did put it on here because I have been really interested in light novels a whole bunch, and so I felt that would be exciting to put on this list. So it was very interesting seeing the breakdown and still seeing that shonen manga is just so big and that Shoujosei is so small, because last year it was really small as well. But at least Shoujosei was slightly higher than seinen when it came to the percentage. I am happy to see that. It's, I mean, only 3 volume difference, but hey, it is a little bit of an increase of what it was last year. Speaking of last year, let's look at these demographics. Oh my goodness. So shoujo had a huge spike, obviously, and I'm not surprised again by that spike, since that is what I'm focusing on. In 2023, I did binge buy quite a few series, including Skip Beat. This year I did Kakuryou. That's the only one that I binge bought, but I had already read it, so that didn't go against my rule of no more binge buying things that I have not read yet. But I feel like just in general, just shoujo manga for the win. Now, Shoujosei, if you look at it, in 2023, it was higher, and then 2024, it dropped slightly, and I was really sad by this, because let's see, in 2023, I had 34 Shoujosei volumes. This year, I only have 25, and I really thought about that, and I was like, oh, because last year, I had Perfect World, the entire series, and Night of the Ice, the entire series, both which are Shoujosei. I read Perfect World, but I ended up selling it off because I was very upset by the middle and decisions made by the female lead, but I do wish I would have done a video review because the ending was very moving and very impactful. Night of the Ice, I think I only read like 2 volumes and I was done with that. What was it? The main guys, she wasn't a coach, she was like an assistant or something. I did not like her. She ruined that manga for me, and so I sold that off ASAP. That makes me really sad though, saying that. And I guess for shoujo, 2023, I had 306 volumes of shoujo, and then it went up to 505 in 2024. Going over to shonen, I was super shocked that the shonen demo here went up at all in 2024. In 2023, I had 62 volumes, and this year I have 74. I can only blame that on Kaiju number 8 and Bless, and maybe like, I think like Execution Straight Kitten, I believe, is a seinen. But I was like, where are the numbers here? Where is it, or how is it going up? I was just really surprised. And then seinen was 22 volumes in 2023 and 2024. I thought that pretty funny. Manhwa, in 2023, I only had 6 volumes of manhwa, and now it's gone up to 32. I'm very happy. That number is just going to continue to go up because, again, I'm on that manhwa hype train. I love it very much. I think it's an amazing style of storytelling. Not sure you would say that, but I love it very much. So that number is just going to go up in future years. I have absolutely no doubts. Will it be as high as shoujo? No, but I could see it surpassing the shonen demo at some point because of how much I really enjoy it. Now, one thing that I added that is new this year is I wanted to talk about publishers. I wanted to see how much manga I had from every publisher. publisher. And I love this pie chart. I think it is something else personally for me because before filming this video, I really felt that Yen Press and Seven Seas were the highest in my collection because I feel like they're the ones I'm buying the most. Yes, to a degree, I do feel like that is true. I'm buying them the most, but Shoujo Beat, 291 volumes, 43.5% of my collection. And I realized because there's series like Kimi Todoke, Yona of the Dawn, Snow the Red Hair, Skip Beat, and a few other series that are like 10 plus volumes, they're all coming from Shoujo Beat. And so Shoujo Beat would make sense after I did the numbers of like, yeah, they are the biggest publisher that I have on my shelf. And I did separate Shonen Jump and Shoujo Beat just for the sake of this because, you know, they're different. But yeah, 291 volumes. I was really shocked just to see how big Shoujo Beat was and how really they are. I feel like a lot of people say that Shoujo Beat does not publish really large series, and maybe that's true for the now that we're not getting like 30 plus volume series, but in the past we got these super big series, so that was really interesting. Coming in second was Yen Press with 100 volumes. Not surprised here with 14.9% of my collection. I really feel like Yen Press is consistently delivering things that I'm interested in. I often see people on Twitter like hating on Yen Press, and I'm like, why? I want that sweet shoujo fantasy romance, and that's exactly what they're giving, as well as the villainous manga, you know, which is a big win. For the third one, it was Seven Seas, and it was at 82 volumes I have by them, and they make up 12.3% of my collection. Again, I feel like that number is just going to rise as well as with Yen Press because Seven Seas is printing such diverse shoujo, I feel like. Like, you never know what they're going to give you each week. Granted, the past few weeks, we haven't really gotten any shoujo, but I feel like earlier this year, we were every week getting at least one shoujo manga, and every week, I at least wanted that shoujo manga, except for I wanted to escape Princess Lessons. No, I did not want that. I was not a happy camper that day at all. But going on to Shonen Jump / Viz, 66 volumes. Again, 45 volumes of that is Haikyuu. The Viz, I think the only one that I included, no, for this one, I also included Twisted Wonderland because it's more under, I guess, a Disney imprint that's under Viz, but I still included Twisted Wonderland as well as House Moving Castle, and all of that makes up 9.9% of my collection. The next one was Kodansha with 52 volumes, 7.8% of my collection. I feel like Kodansha really, honestly, I was shocked because I have been very unhappy with Kodansha with their licensing. Yes, they had some wins this past license announcements, but I don't feel like they were major wins in the sense of like when we got like A Sign of Affection or let me look at my manga, Gazing at the Star Next Door. And that's all I'm seeing that like vividly comes to mind. So I feel like I'm not really picking up new series from Kodansha. Honestly, when I was documenting everything for this video, it was halfway through the like going through all of my manga that I finally came across a Kodansha manga, and it wasn't even a shoujo. Now I know that a lot of their shoujo is bigger, like you can't tell, but these are like my bigger manga, the larger trim, and I put those at the bottom of my shelf. So I'm like, okay, you know, that is one thing, but it just felt weird that even that when I finally got to one, it was a seinen manga, and the next one was also a seinen manga. Oh, it's not here, it's at the bottom. And that was, yeah, I'm giving the disgraced noble lady I rescued a crash course in naughtiness. I did combine Kodansha and Vertical as one imprint, since Vertical, I guess, has now blended in with Kodansha. But I just feel like as a whole that Kodansha is just not delivering to me personally. They can make me eat my words if they would give me Love That's an Understatement or some of their digital only manga, like Yamaguchi-kun isn't that bad. I would be so happy. I would be so happy. So I hope that they prove me wrong and they put themselves back on the radar because I feel like as a whole, I am the most least impressed with them in that when it comes to excitement, they do not have that overwhelming excitement. Like I don't feel when I've looked at their licenses like I want to scream like I did when Seven Seas licensed Glass of the Chance of Delinquent a few weeks ago. I screamed there, scared my whole family, okay? That was different. So Kodansha's just not on that same level. But let's go into like lighter, happier things. Eyes Press, 21 volumes. Eyes Press is just hitting out the park. I feel like there was only one from their recent license announcements, Kill the Villainous, that I was very interested in. I mean, I tried another one, but we'll talk about that at the end of the month. But outside of that, I feel like just majority of the time, they are consistently delivering. I mean, they have Villains Are Destined to Die, The Remarried Empress right here, and Dark Moon, The Blood Altar. I mean, they have some really amazing manhwa, so that number is going to also go up. The next one is J Novel Club with 19 volumes. That is only because of Tear Moon Empire, which I have 4 volumes, as well as A Sense of a Bookworm, which I have 15 volumes. So that comes directly from them. The next one is CMX/Dempa. I combined them because I only have 5 volumes from Dempa. That is The Girl with the Sanpaku Eyes. And then for CMX, that is Land of the Blindfolded. I combined these two together because I don't suspect that I will be buying any more from these publishers. I mean, CMX, is not around anymore, but I don't really know of a lot of CMX series that I would be willing to drop money on. I mean, yes, if Swan was much more cheaper to get, yes, I would get Swan. So there's series I'm interested in, same as like Gals, but I'm just not willing to fork out the money to go get those. And Dempa, I don't know if they're going to do like another shoujo-like series. The Girl with the Sanpaku Eyes, I don't think it's technically a shoujo because it was published online, but should they do another series like that, then I would do that. I mean, we were 11 or they were 11? Who knows when we're gonna get that. So anyway, the next one is Square Enix. I am feeling very happy with Square Enix. I feel like they are an up and coming rising publisher when it comes to my collection. That number is gonna go up. I mean, they have The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl. They have On and Off Work Life and Balance, which just got recently licensed, and Mr. Villain's Day Off. And they have one that's coming out later this year that I'm so excited about they also have The Villainess's Guide to Not Falling in Love, which is really good. But there's like a punching one that's coming out that's a shoujo manga. I'm so excited for that one. So they're going to keep going up. One Piece books, 8 volumes, Yusatoki Rhetoric right here. I would definitely be willing to buy from them again. For other, that just has 2 volumes or less. So like, is it Ito? It's this publisher right here. They publish light novels only, and so I included the 2 volumes of The Villainess is the Heroine's Biggest Fan because I'm really loving that series. Rocket Ship, they do graphic novels, and the only one I have by them is Faded Away, which is really good. And then Tokyo Pop with 2 volumes. I used to have more Tokyo Pop volumes, but I've just sort of sold them off. Don't really know why. Like, I sold Springtime by the Window. I actually wish I never did because I really enjoyed that series. But Tokyo Pop definitely has some upcoming series I'm really, really excited about and will be getting. And then the last one, which is one, is Inklore, and that is Loving Yamada. So I just put them all in one little pie chart, or one part of the pie chart together. So there is my breakdown. Sorry, I didn't say all the percents for the smaller ones, but I thought it was just really cool to see what publishers are sort of like up and coming, which ones I'm getting more of. I couldn't compare to 2023. I honestly wish I could have, because I really feel like Shoujo beat Inkodansha. It was the manga I was collecting from these publishers last year, but that definitely feels different this year because I wasn't even collecting, I don't think, Square Enix, except for like the Ice Guy. I think that was it. Now I'm going to say right here before we go on to the next statistic, this could be a little bit overwhelming. So I did have 2 different people ask, can you do the magazines your manga is from? Shout out to my friend. Oh my gosh, I say her name wrong all the time. I always call her Lies, but I think it's Lissa. I believe her actual name is Lissa, and I've just unfortunately have been saying it wrong. I feel bad because I think her name's Lindsay, but on Instagram, her name is Delulu Lindsay, and she was amazing. She's been super helpful. Like, both of these ladies have been so very encouraging, and I'm so thankful for them. Hopefully that this will do it justice, especially since Lindsay was one of the people that did ask for this. Here we go, starting with the Shoujosei. This is part 1 of 3. I never knew that I had so much manga like from different magazines. I feel like I know like maybe like the big 5, or what I would consider the big 5 in the sense I see them all the time. Like Dessert, Hanata Yume, Flo's comic, but that probably doesn't count. But I love that. Lala. Like, these series I see often, so I am familiar with them, but there was probably 40 plus different magazines, maybe, or maybe not quite that high, almost 40, at least over 30 for sure. Can't do numbers apparently, but I know there was a lot. There was a lot. Let's go ahead and look at everything. So the biggest Shoujosei magazine I own is Hana to Yume. Now, I'm not surprised with this because in the Hana to Yume magazine, it has series like Yona of the Dawn and Skip Beat. So that would make sense with 2 of the biggest series on my shelf that it would make up at least 25% of my collection. That just makes a lot of sense to me. For the next one at 23.3%, with 99 volumes. Now, I don't know how you say the first part of this. This is sort of like an umbrella under Margaret, but it says magazine here. This has all of Iosaki Saka's manga, which I'm not surprised since I have at least 3 of her series. This also has No Longer Heroine and My Love Story. I think a high school debut, I think, is also included in this magazine. So I wasn't surprised that this was the second biggest magazine that I own of the manga that I have. The third one is Lala, and I did Lala/Lala DX because I wasn't sure of how they're different. So please forgive me, people who know their magazines. I do apologize, but I just put them together in one because it felt easier for me personally. Lala /Lala DX has series like Snow White the Red Hair, Last Game, and From Far Away. The next one is Flo's comic, which I'm really excited about. I have 31 volumes from this magazine, with 7.3 of it being in my collection. Now, one thing I want to say that I'm so glad I did this, because I have increasingly realized I really like this magazine. I really love the manga that come from this magazine, and I feel like Yen Press is one of the, for me personally, that I feel like Yen Press has one of the best manga licenses throughout the year, because they increasingly publish manga from this magazine, and I absolutely love it. It fits perfectly for that shoujo sweet romance fantasy, like The Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent, Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me, so good, When I Became a Commoner, A Reincarnated Witch Spells Doom, and there's a few other ones, but those are the ones that stood out to me that I really enjoy these series, and I love it. I love it. These are some of my favorite series that I've been reading this year, I feel like. Well, maybe not When I'm a Commoner, though that one did surprise me, but I didn't super love Volume 3. But these series are amazing, and so I love things from this magazine, and I sort of feel like anytime I see the manga, I can sort of recognize, like, you know what, like, this sounds like a Flo's comic manga, and it makes me pretty excited, because I feel like it's the only one I can sort of do that with, and I'm not always correct, definitely not saying that. I am not that much of an expert on these magazines like that, though it would be cool if I was. Yeah, I love this magazine, and I was just so happy to see that it was the 4th highest on my list, because I'm like, yes, like, give me more from this magazine. I absolutely love it. But the next one after that, with 28 volumes, is Dessert. I'm not surprised by this one, because it has a sign of affection, a condition called love, and though I only have it digitally, love, that's an understatement. Dessert, I feel like, is one of the bigger manga magazines that a lot of people really love manga that comes from this series, which I don't blame them, because a condition called love and sign of affection are amazing. The next one is it Betsu Komi? I have 25 volumes, and I believe, yeah, everything that I have from this magazine is like QQ Sweeper, Queen's Quality, I think Beastmaster, Dinkin Daisy. I don't know if it came from this magazine, but I definitely can say QQ Sweeper, Queen's Quality for sure that it did. Need to see other things from this magazine, because I really love everything about Queen's Quality. It's amazing. The next one, Comic Corona, with 18 volumes. This one, like with J Novel Club, it is A Sense of a Bookworm and Tear Moon Empire. Both of them come from this magazine. I'm not sure if it's a physical magazine or if it's like an online website, but both of those series specifically come from this company. The next one is Gagan Pixie, and I include the Gagan online as well, and that's 17 volumes, and that included series like Play It Cool Guys, Mr. Villain's Day Off, The Girl with the Sanpaku Eyes, and coming soon from Square Enix, On and Off, Work Life in Balance. I love Play It Cool Guys so much, it's amazing. So I was like, oh, I'm not surprised that I've enjoyed things from this. I think it's more of a website than it is like a physical magazine. The next one is Margaret, 12 volumes, and I feel bad because I did a separate spreadsheet and it was chaos. And I don't know what I put that I personally have from this series. I don't know. I was racking my brain and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. But to give an idea of some of the series that have come out of this magazine is Like a Butterfly, Pink to Habanero, which I'm so excited, coming from Yen Press later this year, Let's Do It Already, and Daytime Shooting Star. So just to give an idea of some of the series that come from there. Vlogs comic, I do really like them as well. They're pretty amazing. And from them, I only have Kakurio. I did see some other series, which I'm like, because I didn't write them down. I was like, oh yeah, I'll remember. No, I didn't. But anyway, Vlogs Comics seems like another magazine that I would really love and really be interested in. They were at 9 volumes. And then the last one, Ribbon, 8 volumes. That is Honey Lemon Soda. I don't remember what the other one was. There was another magazine that I had, but I know that Ribbon is very much well known, I feel like, for Honey Lemon Soda. Going on to part 2 here, we have like a sister magazine to Hana and Yume with 8 volumes. From this magazine specifically, I have Yusatoki Rhetoric from this magazine. They also publish Otomen, which I thought was really, really fascinating. I sold that one to a friend, but I was like, oh, that was cool to see that they were in the same magazine. The next one is Comic Zero Sum and Zero Sum Online. I'm not sure if they were one the same, but I decided to put them together, and that is 7 volumes, and I couldn't find what the other one is. I know one of the series is Most Heretical Last Boss. I mean, they also do Bibliophile Princess, but I own that digitally, but I couldn't remember what the other series was that comes from this one. For 7 volumes, Asuka. I'm so excited. I've really loved the manga we've gotten from this magazine, with one of them being the eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom. So good. Perfection. You need to read it. The other one, though, is Aria of the Beach Forest, which was my second favorite read of last month. Incredible. Incredible. It's so good. I really, really enjoyed that. So I'm excited to see if we'll get more Azuka manga, or manga from the Azuka magazine, because I wanted. So talking to my friend Lissa, Aria was a magazine that's no longer around, and that is 7 volumes that had That Wolf Boy Is Mine, as well as Love in Focus. I forget which magazine for Those Not So Sweet Boys when Yoko Nogiri, when she went to a different magazine. Maybe that was the Margaret one. Maybe that's the one she went to. I know she went to a different magazine though. I don't know how to say this next one here, but I have 6 volumes from this series, and I love this magazine. I feel like if I had to choose favorites from what I personally really enjoy, I would definitely say Flo's Comic is number 1, because almost everything I've read from that magazine I have deeply loved. And then this one would be second, because as My Girlfriend's Child, Gazing at the Star Next Door, Glass with a Chance of Delinquent, Yamaguchi-kun Isn't So Bad. And I feel like a lot of the series I've been interested in and wanted and add to my wish list that come from this magazine. So I really, really love them. They are, and it could be some biasness because it has glasses, but they are the first magazine that I bought used. I think I have like 5 to 6 magazines, with at least half of them being of this magazine alone. So I love it. I love it. I was like, man, I was really excited to see them. Even though I'm like 6 volumes, I'm like, I gotta do better. Gotta do better here. Next up is Manga Up, 6 volumes. I can't remember all of the manga that came from this one, but I know one of them is The Villainess's Guide to Not Falling in Love. The next one is Comet Gardo. I did not look up to see which manga I had came from this magazine. And the last one, Yura Sunday. I don't remember what came from this one either, but that is the breakdown of the largest magazines that I or manga from these magazines that I have. And then for the third one, I didn't do a pie chart. I'm not going to go over this one, but these are volumes, individual volumes that came from these magazines that I have. I did 4 or less. They had to go on this page. I was shocked to see I had one. It's Golden Japanesque, and it was in cheese and flowers. I was pretty shocked. I'm not going to lie, because I heard cheese is more on like the steamier side of things, and I'm like, there's nothing steamy about Golden Japanesque at all. So that was really interesting to see there. Flowers, I heard, is a very prestigious magazine, but I guess we do not get much of it in English. The one that I have personally is Gold Kingdom and Water Kingdom. For my last little stat that I have, we're going to do the Shonen and Seinen magazines, and it's so much smaller. It's so much smaller. I did not track anything that had like 1 volume or less, but the biggest one, Shonen Jump, Haikyuu. That's the biggest one, so that's why that is so big, 52.3% from that magazine. And the next one is Shonen Jump Plus. Kaiju number 8 is in this magazine. The next one, though, is Mag XIV. I'm not sure you would say that. This one purely has My Sister the Cat and Execusa and Stray Kitten, both that come from 7 Seas. The next one is Comic Pash. I would be interested to know more about this website or this magazine, because when I looked on there was I'm Giving the Disgraced Noble Lady, I Rescued a Crash Course in Naughtiness, but it also had series like Osan Idol, Springtime by the Window, I Want to Escape Princess Lessons, and I'm like, the latter 3 are labeled as, I believe, Josei and Shoujo manga, but I'm like, I'm Giving the Disgraced Noble Lady, that's a seinen manga, so it felt very, I don't think confused is the right word, but it felt like it was just a big umbrella of a variety of demographics. So I'm wondering if like it doesn't have a demo, but when that manga comes out of there, then they target who they feel, if it's a female audience or a male audience. If you know, please let me know, because I don't know anything about this company, but I was just very surprised to see some of the manga listed under when I'm like, I know that's not marketed as such as like a seinen or shonen in the US. The next one is Big Comic Spirits. I have Run Your New Legs from this magazine. G Fantasy, let's go. Twisted Wonderland. G Fantasy also publishes Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and I think was it Tokyo Aliens? But I'm like, I read G Fantasy for Twisted Wonderland. I love it. And the magazine is so ginormous. It's really, really big. And I have the magazine cover at my desk right now. But yeah, J Fantasy, everything I've read from them when it comes to Twisted Wonderland has been absolutely fantastic. I hope we continue to get more. I feel bad for the friends that love Harda manga because I only have 4 volumes from this magazine, and that's Nikolai traveling around the demon's world. I have quite a few Shoujosei friends who love Harda, and I don't want to say anything to get myself canceled, but I am not super drawn to their series, no pun intended. I mean, there's one that I really want to get licensed that comes out of this magazine, but I have not had like an overwhelming to read, say like A Bride's Story, or the other one that's really popular is at Emma, and I'm not knocking like the creator or anything. I don't know, I just didn't feel like their series speak to me the same kind of way, which that maybe that's not surprising saying that since I said that I love light and fluffy fantasy, and I feel like most Harda series are not quite like that. But Nikolai traveling around the demon's world seems very wholesome fantasy and very lighthearted and slice of life. That's probably why I only have 1 series from them. I just felt bad though because I do know a lot of people really love that magazine a lot, and I only have 4 volumes to show for it. Comp Ace is I'm the Villainess, so I'm taming the final boss, 3 volumes, and the last one is Shonen Magazine Edge, and that has the manga Bless. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed all of these statistics. I know it was a lot of information. Definitely free to go back and pause things if you want to see more of a breakdown or anything like that. If you have any questions about any of these stats, don't hesitate to let me know. But let's go ahead and dive into the manga collection portion of my video of what do I have on my shelves. All right, here is what my manga collection looks like at a distance. I have 3 big shelves, 2 white, 1 black. Still have not replaced the black one, even though I'm pretty sure in my last manga collection video, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna replace it. But let's get closer. I'm gonna turn the camera and we'll go see what everything looks like. Also, I do want to apologize if the audio quality has gone down. I'm using a different phone to film, but I hope that it does really well. But let's go ahead and get started. So here are the box sets that I had mentioned in my video that I have me and my husband have the 4 One Piece ones, and then we have the Demon Slayer, and as you can see, I have some like random merch up there of some of my favorite best boys, and I have my Ace figurine box over there, and my Hinata one right over there on the right side, and then I have my 2 big merch ones. I have, of course, my Hinata, sort of haiku, but mainly just Hinata, and then I have like my Shoujo in Twisted Wonderland. I really love both of these shelves so incredibly much. They make me so happy to look at. And on the top up here, it says hopeful, though it's hard to see, and that is my husband was a huge Seahawk fan, that I made that for him for Christmas one year, and my friend actually made the hopeful for me. And then I have my Riddle Twisted Wonderland box set and Yona and our One Piece art books, but I know that's not what they're called, and then the One Piece pirate recipes because I know where to put it. And then of course I have my pens with a few Hinata or haiku figures, more pens, so haiku is up at the top, Shoujo is more at the bottom, and then I have a few other Shoujo Play It Cool Guys related merch, and of course Princess Bibliophile. I absolutely love it. So let's go ahead and dive into the manga. I guess we'll go from top to bottom, but let me pause. So some volumes are missing. I was lazy before this video. All of these I need to put away on the shelves, and I just haven't. So if I say I have like volumes 1 through 3, like say for Daily Report about my witch senpai, volume 3 is over here rather than, where it should be with the other 2 volumes. So let's go ahead. So I have volumes 1 through 3 of Daily Report about my witch senpai, Golden Japanesque volumes 1 through 5. Hopefully this series will come off of hiatus. I Swear I Won't Bother You Again, volumes 1 through 4. Absolutely love this series. Volumes 1 through 6 of Honey Lemon Soda. I reread some of volume 5 so I can make sure I knew everything with volume 6. Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts, volumes 1 through 15. An incredible series. Kamamo Confisory, volumes 1 through 5. Very sweet, no pun intended. Land of the Blindfold, volume 1. And then volumes 2 through 9 right here. Another incredible series. And then backing up, I have Snow White the Red Hair, volumes 1 through 26, and I also have the mini art book, but it's on the other shelf that I just shared. Tear Moon Empire volumes 1 through 4. Really love that series. Also, we're just gonna go this way because that's how I usually like put my manga on my shelf. And if you are curious of how do I organize my manga, I do have a video that's still accurate. It's very old, but I do have a video of how to organize my manga collection. I'll leave it up in the corner. Moving on, volumes 1 through 2 of My Coworker Has a Secret. I felt so validated reading this. Volumes 1 through 4 of I Want to Be a Receptionist in This Magical World. No, it's not an isekai, but it it does sound like with that long title. When I Became a Commoner, they broke off our engagement, volumes 1 through 3. Really enjoyed this, though I do have a little bit of mixed feelings with volume 3. I'm the Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss, volumes 1 through 3. I have reread this series so many times. It's one of the most reread series in my collection. Beast of Abigail, volumes 1 through 4. So good. Volumes 1 through 10, one of the few shonen manga I'm collecting. And if we back up, you can see volumes 1 all the way over here to volume 49 of Skip Beat. I have not read it yet, but I'm going to do it hopefully here soon. Going downwards, I have Haikyuu volume 1 all the way to volume 45. I do have the Haikyuu 33.5 that came with the movie. Yes, I bought it online. It was amazing. The movie and that volume specifically. My friend had gifted me this a few years ago. It's called Haikyuu Bu. I think it's how you say that. And it is a like Haikyuu spoof manga. I'm hoping we eventually get it in English because it's a lot of fun just to look at. Coming over here, I have Hi, I'm a Witch and My Crush Wants Me to Make a Love Potion, volumes 1 through 4. This series is contender for a favorite this year, especially volume 4, which was so good. Volumes 1 through 4 of Miss Miyazu and Love to Get Closer to You, super sweet. Primitive Boyfriend, volumes 1 through 3, really enjoyed this. Flower in a Storm, volumes 1 and 2. Ex Yakuza and Stray Kin, volumes 1 through 4. Volume 4 is still my TBR, which I have in a separate stack in my living room right now, but it is in that video of series I want to finish this year of like, am I meeting my manga goals? So definitely check it out if you want to see the entire stack. Next up is volumes 1 through 7, though technically volume 8 because volume 8 is in my stack over there of Yusitoki Rhetoric. Love this series, will be so sad when it ends. Volumes 1 through 4 of Howl's Moving Castle, the manga, highly recommend it, so awesome. Going over here, I have Dankin Daisy Volume 1, Beastmaster Volume 2, QQ Sweeper Volumes 1 through 3, Queen's Quality 1 through 19, and then I have 10.5, which is like a mini fan book. I need to look over this again. It's been a while. But that's really good though too. Shortcake Cake Volume 1 through 12. Love this series. Still don't have a video review, even though I've reread it like 3 or 4 times. The Earl and the Fairy, Volume 1. Hopefully, eventually, maybe we'll get the 2 through 4 back in print. Backing up for Kimi ni Toroke, Volumes 1 through 30. I also have volumes 1 and 2 of Kimi ni Toroke, Soulmate, so good. Have, of course, My Glass, The Chance of Delinquent, volumes 3 through 6 in Japanese. We'll be double dipping on this series. And then The Fiancé Chosen by the Ring, volumes 1 through 5. Hopefully we'll get volume 6 in English soon because it is out in Japan. Going down, I have volumes 1 through 9 of The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent. So good. I love Sei. She's one of my best girls. Imakoi, Now I'm in Love, volumes 1 through 9. Rosie in the Labyrinth, 1 through 3, which is another really sweet series. Highly recommend. Times 2 is a one-shot by the creator of Monkey High. In the Name of the Mermaid Princess, volumes 1 and 2. Also really good. High school debut, The Omnibus. I have volumes 1 through 15, omnibus only. My Love Story, volumes 1 through 13. So excited. We are getting 14 in English. It is about time. So excited. And then we'll come over to this side of the shelf. I have My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 199, volume 1. The Most Heretical Last Boss Queen, volumes 1 through 3. I'm so sad that that's all there is of this series. Hopefully we'll get the new one of this series that's coming out in Japan. A Reincarnated Witch Spells Doom, volumes 1 through 4. This is so good. If you like fantasy and when the world building gets better, this series is for you. A Sense of a Bookworm. I have part 1 to, part 7? Or volumes, okay, so this is part 1, volume 1 to volume 7, and then I have A Sense of a Bookworm part 2, volumes 1 through 7, and then I have A Sense of a Bookworm part 3, volume 1. I am aware that I cannot start this volume yet until all of part 2 finishes. I do plan to continue this physically for now, and I'm hoping I love it because this was a binge buy, but my husband loved the anime and he was like, I think you'll like the manga, so go get it, which he doesn't really ever do that. Become You, volume 1. Hopefully this series will continue one day. If there's any one manga I could say that reflected me the most as a person, it would be this volume, and it's why I've never unhauled it, despite that's been hiatus for a really long time. Next up is My Girlfriend's Child, volumes 1 through 4. Nikolai Traveling Around the Demon's World, 1 through 4. This is a series on my TBR that I need to read. Going over to the next shelf. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can read this. If the villainess and villain met and fell in love. I don't know what that little subtitle says. I love that. If you need a villainous manga that's not a villainous manga, that is your manga. Volumes 1 through 6 of The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom. Absolutely love this manga. So good. Twisted Wonderland volumes 1 through 4, plus the mini art book that came in the French edition of volume 1. Then volumes 1 through 7 of The Remarried Empress. Love this series so much. Not So Wicked Stepmom, volumes 1 through 4. My first light novel. The villainess is the heroine's biggest fan. I mean, it's not the first one I've ever bought, but it's the first one I've read in a very long time. Play Cool Guys, volumes 1 through 5. My faves. Embrace Your Size, My Own Body Positivity, the only nonfiction book that I own. Veil. This is the Japanese version of volume 6, I believe, and that is the art book that came with it. That's why I bought it. And then Dark Moon, The Blood Altar, volumes 1 through 3. Run on Your New Legs, volumes 1 through 5. The Girl with the Sanpaku Eyes, volume 1. And then down here is volumes 2 through 4. But let's go back over here to finishing this shelf, which is all of just Yona of the Dawn, volumes 1 through 39 here. And then if we go down, we will see volumes 40 and 41, plus the art book that came, I think it was volume 30. Was it volume 40? Yeah, volume 40. And we'll come over here to the top, and here's my other 3 light novels, and that's Alice in the Country of Diamonds, Bet on My Heart, which I still haven't read, but I bought used, and so I grabbed it. One Piece Ace's Story. I still have not read this. I need to read it eventually, but I still haven't read it. My Yoko no Giri volumes, Love and Focus, volume 1 through 3. Not So Sweet Boys, volumes 1 through 7. That Wolf Boy Is Mine, volumes 1 through 4. I have reread this the most out of her series. I really love this one. True Love Fades Away When the Contract Ends, volume 1. Love this. My Sister the Cat, volumes 1 through 3. Volume 3 is on my TBR. Seventh Time Loop the Manga, volumes 1 through 5. The Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World, volumes 1 through 5. Finally read it. It was so good. Volume 1 of The Villainess's Guide to Not Falling in Love. Volume 2 is up on my stack over here on my other shelf. We swore to meet in the next life, and that's when things got weird. I love this Shoujosei. It's so sweet. I'm Giving the Disgrace, Noble Lady I Rescued, a Crash Course in Naughtiness. Volumes 1 through 4 here. Volume 5 is here. And then volume 6 is up here. I actually read this volume right before, or last night before I filmed this video. So good. I loved it. Let's go back down here though. Volumes 1 through 10 From Far Away. Yes, this is the Malaysian version. I just didn't want to pay like buku prices for the actual edition. Volumes 1 through 8 of A Condition Called Love. So good. The Villainess Stands the Heroes. Volumes 1 through 3. Hopefully we'll get volume 4 in English soon, because I did see volume 4 is out in Japan. Volumes 1 through 9 of Kakuryou, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. You guys know I love it. I love reading this so much that I bought a physical set for myself. Fiancé of the Wizard, volume 1, that was gifted to me by my friend Sarah, and then volume 4. Let's come over to this side of my shelf with all my Iosaki Saka manga. I have volumes 1 through 13 of Oh Horror Ride. I have volumes 1 through 12 of Love Me, Love Me Not. So good. Finally read it this year. Amazing. I think it's my favorite series by her. Strobe Edge, volumes 1 through 5, missing 6 and 7, and then 8 and 10, also missing volume 9. Mint Chocolate, volumes 1 through 5, and then down here is 6 through 11. Coming over here, I have volumes 1 through 7 of No Longer Heroine, and then I have volumes 1 through 15 of Library Wars. This is the very first manga that I ever read in its fullness, but it was a library copy, and then I bought this when I saw it was going out of print, and I'm so grateful. I still need to read it. Now we're going to go all the way over here to my black shelf, and this is just some empty space. My daughter has her plushies here, purple and orange, and then I have my ortho print of Fairy Gala because I love him. He's one of my favorites in Twisted Wonderland. This is like a wooden piece right here that my friend made me. I have my Iosaki Saka art book here that my friend Danielle gifted me, and this was, is it Manga Runner? She got this for me when she was in Japan. It is a Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent anthology. I love it. I haven't read it, but I love looking at the pictures so much of both of these, honestly, both of these. But let's go down here to my big boy manga, as I like to call them. We have Last Game, volumes 1 through 5, Sayonara Football, volumes 1 through 2. I did not like Farewell, My Dear Kramer, so I only have these two. Fade Away, which is a graphic novel. I did share in a recent manga news video that volume 2 is up for a Kickstarter, and I did back it. Volumes 1 and 2 of I'm a Cat Barista, so good. Wake Up Sleeping Beauty, volumes 1 through 6. I still haven't read it yet, but I'm thankful to my friend Dawn that I have this in my collection. Volume 1 of Aria of the Beach Forest, so very, very good. Villains Are Destined to Die, volumes 1 through 6. Penelope, We Love Her, We Stand Her. Gold Kingdom and Water Kingdom. This is a standalone. My Father's a Unicorn, another standalone. The Perks of Being an S-Class Heroine, Volume 1. Why Ray Liotta Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion, Volumes 1 through 7. I have 6 and 7 up on the top. Coming over here, we have another standalone, The Secret of Friendship. Then we have What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, Volumes 1 through 4. It's the manhwa. Really enjoyed this. Gazing at the Star Next Door. This and Glasses are like the two manga I would recommend for the year of 2024. Like, if I could only recommend 2, that would be it. And the third one would be Villains Are Destined to Die, but it's a manhwa. But yeah, we're going back. Shoujosei the Tiger and the Fish, which is another standalone. The Ice Sky and the Cool Girl, Volumes 1 through 5. Loving this series. Alice in the Country of Hearts, The Omnibus, Volumes 1 through 3. I have a variety of spinoffs here. I have Alice in the Country of Hearts, Love, Labyrinth of Thorns, The Clockmaker's Story, Alice in the Country of Clover, The March's Hare Revolution. I also have Alice in the Country of Clover, The March Hare, I think is the name of that one. And then A Sign of Affection, Volumes 1 through 8. Mr. Villain's Day Off, Volumes 1 through 4. And then my daughter's cat manga, which is Wonder Cat Q-chan, Volumes 1 through 8. I'm not sure where Volume 1 is right now, but we do have that. That, my friends, I didn't mean to go so fast there, but that is everything I own when it comes to my manga. I hope that I spotlighted one of your favorites in my collection. Sorry, I don't want to get up, so I'm just going to do it like this. But I hope I spotlighted one of your favorites in this collection and that you super enjoyed it. And that is everything that I have, friends. I super hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's sort of long-winded because I did all the stats, but I hope you enjoyed those. I hope you enjoyed seeing the manga on my shelves and what I love collecting the most. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!